So another site that I want to show you guys is where you can purchase Bitcoin from is localbitcoins.com. So you can just take a look. You type that in your browser, and it'll bring you here. So once you come to the website, you want to sign up, and it's free. So you'll create your username, put in your email address, your password, and then you'll hit register. Then after you register, then you'll be in. And see, so now I'm in. So once you're in, pretty much all this is kind of like a little marketplace for people who are buying and selling Bitcoin. So it's pretty much everybody on here is either a person who wants to buy or sell, or maybe a company who does kind of like Bitcoin exchange. They buy and sell Bitcoin. So the way it works is pretty much this main page. If you want to buy, say you want to buy Bitcoin, say you want to buy, say $500 of Bitcoin, right? So what you would do is you would look for, you would come to sellers, see who's selling, and they'll have some sellers listed. And what I normally do is, so they've got the seller's name, and then they've got the number of transactions they've done, and then their feedback rating or score. So I try to find people who have many transactions and who have 100%, or at least I would say in the high 90s, maybe 95 and above. And that's pretty good. That means that's a solid person. So these kind of have like the top hits right here. So they have different options. So cash deposit are these options here. So this person has a Bank of America account, and you have to do a cash deposit in their Bank of America account, and they will sell you Bitcoin. So now the price over here has the price that the rate that they're selling Bitcoin for. So just real quick, one site that you can come to check on the current price of Bitcoin. There's quite a few, but the two that I use is coincap.io. So if you come to your browser and you type in coincap.io, it'll bring you here. And I'll post all the links in the video that I use in this video. I'll post them below. So coincap.io, you put that in, brings you here. It's got a list of pretty much all the coins, or the top maybe 1,000 or 500 or so. But for our purposes, we're just going to be looking at Bitcoin. So the current price of Bitcoin is $42.83. That is the current price. Another site that you can use is coinmarketcap.com. Again, that's coinmarketcap.com. I'll post that link as well. And it's got the price of Bitcoin as well. So those are two sites that I use. And again, coinmarketcap.com also has many coins listed, but for our purposes, we're just going to be looking at Bitcoin, and so the price is $42.86. So once I look at the current price of Bitcoin, then I come back to local Bitcoin, and yeah, so this guy here is actually a pretty good rate. It's actually less than what they have it on CoinCap. So $42.84. This person is selling it for $42.79 per coin. And so pretty much you want to look for people who are selling where it says the price at a price that is as near as the current price of Bitcoin as possible, because you don't want to be paying too much. So if the current price is $42.86, then if you don't have to, you don't want to be paying 42 or 44.50 or 5K, because now you're paying way more than the actual price. So that seller is kind of inflating the price, so they can make their percentage off the transaction. So you want to find somebody, a seller who's reputable, has a good score, many transactions. I like to see people who have 70 plus, 100 plus transactions and like a score of 100. That's really good. If not, then if they've got 30 plus and 100, that's real good too. And again, $42.79. Now this area right here is the limits. So this is how much that seller is selling. So you can either buy Um, Pretty much to buy from them, you have to buy at least $2,500 to 8K worth of Bitcoin, somewhere in that range. So we're only trying to buy, say, for this video, $500 worth of Bitcoin. So we can use this seller because you have to buy at least $2,500 worth. This next seller, you have to buy at least $950 worth. So we won't go through that seller. Now this guy here, he's got a limit of, you can buy at least $50 worth up to $1,258. So this is pretty much, we want to go with this guy. So we can go ahead and click the buy option. Alright, so now it takes us to the seller's ad, and it'll display pretty much the terms of the trade, because what you're doing is you're doing an exchange or a trade. So you're buying from a seller, and that seller is selling Bitcoin to you. So pretty much some things on this page. It's got the price, so the exchange rate. It's got the payment method. Like I said, there's a few different payment methods: cash deposits, wires. You can do Western Unions. You can do Walmart transactions, stuff like that. So it'll show you that info here, and then what bank they bank with if it's a cash deposit. It's got the user's name, the limits, the location, US, the payment window. So pretty much the payment window, and in this box you can see how much time you have for the paying the purchase and making the payment done after sending the trade request. So pretty much do not go ahead and send the trade request until you're ready to kind of get going. So you can come to this page and take a look at the terms of the trade here, and then if you kind of like what you see and you want to purchase from the seller, then you can go ahead and you proceed. So here, terms of the trade. So for this person, they want you to send an ID. So you have to send some sort of photo ID, and this is cash only deposit. So you can read the instructions here. So so this person wants you to deposit in his bank account. He's going to check his account, and then he'll release the funds immediately. So after you make the deposit in that seller's account, you've got to do these following steps. You have to send a photo of the original receipt. So just take a picture. What I normally do is either while I'm at the bank or kind of like once I'm back in my car, then I just take a picture of the deposit slip. So you want to make sure you keep that. Make sure you get that deposit slip or receipt from the bank teller. Hold on to that because you're going to need to take a picture of that and send it for pretty much just any transaction that you do on here. Assure the photo of the receipt has a handwritten notice. So on that little slip or receipt, what you're going to write is for purchase of Bitcoins from, and then you put whoever the seller is. In this case is Pure Equality for you. And then you say at localbitcoins.com, no fund reversal. So make sure you include that on the slip. So, and then here he's got some more terms. This is for cash deposit only, just making sure you're aware. Bitcoins will not be sent if anything other than physical cash is deposited. No checks, no money orders, no cashier's checks, no transfers between accounts. So this is kind of a big thing too, transfers between accounts. So if you have a Bank of America account and the seller has a Bank of America account, if it's a cash deposit, more times than not, they want you to withdraw it from your bank account, and then you will deposit it in that seller's account. And you're not going to transfer it between accounts. You can ask the seller to see if that may be an option, but I would say 9 times out of 10, they want you to withdraw the money from your account and deposit it in theirs. And again, you do not need a Bank of America account in this case to make a cash deposit there. So if you had a Wells Fargo, it's fine. You just withdraw your cash, make sure you have your cash, and then you go and you deposit it there. Also, some disclaimers: no New York trades, no New Hampshire trades, no North Carolina trades. So, unfortunately for us, I'm in North Carolina, Charlotte to be exact. So can't do any trades with this seller for North Carolina. It has to be, and if you're in any other state, then you're good to go, pretty much. So if everything looks good there, then you want to contact the seller. Contact the seller and go ahead and initiate the trade. But just keep in mind, and there'll be different payment windows for different sellers. This seller, 270 minutes. So pretty much once you agree that you want to go ahead and buy from the seller, and then you say the amount. So in this case, say if it was $500, then $500, you just let's see, you just follow the steps here. So you proceed to verify your identity, and then you also proceed to phone number verification here. So you just follow the steps, and then once all that is verified, then the payment window starts, I believe. So let's see if we can find another seller here. So we can go back to this page. And again, all right, so this option just shows you the top hits online in the US. Let's see. The next kind of options here are if you want to buy Bitcoin. And it says in pretty much near Charlotte, so whatever city you are, it'll show you options near you, and you can take a look. I kind of just stick to US because most of the time if it's local, look, the prices are way higher. And I like to be as close to the actual real price or current price of Bitcoin as possible. So you can also show more. And now you have different options. So using this option, if you had an Amazon gift card, you would see who'd be willing to accept that. Cash by mail, cash deposit, cash just the different options you have. The only thing I've ever done is the cash deposit and bank transfer. I have not personally tried any other option. I personally would stick to those two for buying purposes. If you want to try to use another option, feel free. But I just feel comfortable. PayPal might be another option for anybody who has PayPal. But mainly, I have used cash deposit and then also bank transfers. So if we click on cash deposits, this is going to load and it's going to bring up a list of pretty much more sellers who are trying to sell their Bitcoin, and we can take a look. So if there's no Bank of America's around you, this guy uses PNC Bank. So if you have a PNC Bank near you, then you want to go with this option, Chase Bank. So really, what's going to determine it is the bank that the seller uses. So if you don't have any Bank of America's, you don't have a PNC, say you don't have a Wells Fargo, but say you only have Chase Bank, well then you need to scroll down here and take a look at sellers who use Chase Bank, and then take a look at their rate, look at their limits, and then find the seller that's good for you. Again, you want to also be looking. So this guy's got 1,000+ transactions, a score of 100%, so that's really good. Also, the green means this user is pretty much either online or typically replies to any comments or questions, or if you hit him up, he'll reply within minutes. Yellow, this yellow color means they'll get back to you in like 30 minutes. So you can also kind of click on the seller and try to contact them ahead of time before you even try to initiate the buy and go through that process. So if you just wanted to contact a seller directly, and if you had any questions or anything like that, just click on their name. And then it's got all the pretty much some info for the seller. And you can take a look at account creation, their first purchase, language, their kind of if they're verified or not, how many people trust them. You can look at their feedback. So if you're still kind of uneasy about the seller, you can look to see kind of what people are saying about that seller. And you can take a look at this all here. Alright, so now I'm going back. So yeah, so again, if you had Chase, you would just keep scrolling through until you found a seller and a rate that you liked and something that met your limits. But make sure that you take a look at the limits, because again, if you want to buy $50 worth of Bitcoin and you wanted to use a Chase, and say the only bank near you in your area was a Chase bank, then you have to make sure that it's Chase Bank, that the price is something that you're willing to accept. Now this is $4,400, so it's probably about 200 and some change, or about $200 more than the actual price of Bitcoin. So at this point, it's inflated, but it's all about convenience. And if Chase Bank is the only bank near you, well, then you want to go with this option, because that's pretty much the only option that you have. But you need to make sure that the limits are within what you're trying to buy. So again, this seller, you have to buy at least $100 worth of Bitcoin. And then the max you can buy is $47.50. So that's right in our sweet spot. We are trying to buy $50 worth of Bitcoin, so we could go with this seller. And so it's all listed here, and you just scroll down, and you got different options. This guy's TD Bank. So let's click here. Some guys will list their phone number for you to call or text. I like that option so that I can hit you up ahead of time. And so again, you can take a look. So this one looks like it's like a little small company or business that's selling Bitcoins, and you can give them a call at this number. I usually like to just text the person, and I'll text them, say, hey, I'm interested in buying from you, anything I need to know. So if you have any questions about anything you see here in the instructions, then yeah, shoot them a text. That way you're talking to the person before you go ahead and send the trade request, because again, once you send the trade request, you have 270 minutes to do everything on your part, which is finalize everything with the seller. If they have different options like sending photo IDs, things like that, then once you send this trade request, you have 270 minutes to do all that. So take a picture of your ID, send it to the user, kind of go back and forth, etc., etc. So I like to contact the person ahead of time if they have their number, if I have any questions, or just to go ahead and get the ball rolling. So again, some disclaimers and steps. So this person, send a picture of your of ID, passport, anything of that nature. Take a deposit to the bank. After you do that, they're going to verify your info. So then you go to the bank. So if you have to withdraw, say the bank is, in this case, what is this? TD Bank. And I have, say, a Wells Fargo. I'm going to go to Wells Fargo. I'm going to withdraw the money from Wells Fargo. I'm going to withdraw $500. Now I'm going to go to TD Bank with the cash, and I'm going to deposit it. Once the seller has your picture ID and all that info, they'll send you their bank account info, so their account number and etc. And then you just go to the bank with all that, and then you deposit it. And again, this is what you write on the slip. It's important to keep that. No refunds for Bitcoin from this seller is DCS 420. And then you just take a picture of it with your phone, and then you're going to upload it here on the site, and I'll have an option for you to do that, so don't worry about it. So you upload that picture, and then they will release it to you immediately. So again, let's see. So for this one, you're not taking a picture of just the deposit slip. So make sure you read the instructions clearly. Some people just want you to take a picture of the deposit slip. Some people will say, hey, take a picture of you holding the deposit slip so they can see your face to make sure you are who you are. So this person wants you to take a picture of you holding the deposit slip, and they can see your face, not wearing any hats, shades, anything like that. And then after that's done, they'll release the funds to you, and then you'll get it immediately. You'll see it hit your account, the amount that you have will pop up here, and now you have it. And so, and then in this case, how much do you wish to buy? For our example, $500. So $500 gets you a 0.111. That's how much Bitcoin you have. So again, you don't have to buy. If the current price of Bitcoin is 4,200, let's say, you don't have to buy a whole coin for 4,200. You can buy however much you want to buy. So if you wanted to buy $100, $50, $25, you can buy however much you want to buy. You just put the amount you want to buy here, and say we only wanted to buy 50. Well, then we will get a 0.01, and that's fine, because you just got to start from somewhere. And again, they'll have the limits in this ad. So see, if we only wanted to buy 50, you'll get this message. You can only the smallest amount you can buy is $200 US from the seller. All right, and then so it's got these little instructions here: how to begin and contact the seller, how to pay online. So just go through this stuff, and if you want to cancel a trade, so say you start and you want to cancel it, and then because say you start the trade and you realize, all right, I don't want to buy from this seller, or I'm not going to make it to the bank in time, or something came up, whatever, you can cancel the trade. Just contact the seller. So after you send a trade request, a little chat box will come up with the seller, or if you going back and forth with the seller. And all you have to do is just in a little chat, just say, hey, I want to cancel the trade. And in order to cancel the trade, both sides have to cancel the trade. And so you cancel it, and then the seller, they'll cancel it, and then you'll be out of the trade, and then you can go back to the main page, and you can buy, find another seller to buy from. So that's kind of like a quick rundown. I can kind of do a more in-depth video. If you still have any questions, let me know in the comments, or feel free to hit me up, and I can kind of go into more detail or just answer any questions that you have. You can also sell Bitcoins. So it pretty much works the same way. If, say, you have Bitcoins and you want to sell, then you would just be the one posting the ad here, and you post on however much you wanted to sell your Bitcoin for, whatever rate. And then say if I just wanted to sell $100 of Bitcoin, then for my limits, I would just have $100. $100 US is the max and the min that you can buy from me. And it pretty much works the same way. You can put your terms of what you want the buyers to send you, the whole deposit slip, making sure to verify that they deposited in your account, and all that info. So again, that was localbitcoins.com. So if I'm kind of in a hurry or kind of wanting to purchase Bitcoin quickly, then typically this is the first place I come. But it just depends on the situation. But this is, again, just another option. Now, that's pretty much it for